What's up, y'all? Dr. Maisha here, and I just last week did my first TEDx conversation, and some really good questions came out of it. So I think I'm going to start a series based on some of the questions that I have been receiving around this this idea of repair. And the first thing I want to share is, this talk was shared in the context of my relationship with my mom. But I want to make it clear that the message is bigger than that. The message is bigger than me. What I wanted people to take away, and what I want people to take away, is that we are in a state of fracture in our relationships, in our personal relationships, in community relationships. You can look out in the world and you can see the damage that has been and continues to be done in interpersonal interaction. And this not only shows up in our personal relationship, but it shows up in how we walk into our workplaces. This shows up in how we lead and how organizational cultures are formed and made. It's showing up in how the whole country is being run. So I think the first thing that I want people to really take away is that this talk is not about my relationship with my mom, and it's not about anybody's relationship with their mom, although it could spark emotion and insight and reflection about our personal relationships with our parents, our children, our siblings, our friends. It's about the state of relationships and how we repeat what we do not repair. And so when we look at what's going on and the history of harm that's being done and the lack of accountability and the lack of repair that has happened, we can see the cycle just keeps perpetuating itself. And so when we think about this concept of repair, we first want to think beyond apology. We also want to think, what is the root cause of people avoiding it, people refusing repair? What is the source of repair not happening? And from my vantage point, there's a couple of things. There is what's going on inside of us, the wounds, the trauma, the conditioning, the beliefs. And there's also the lack of skill, the lack of what to do, not having the words. That's a lot of, in the communication work that I do, that's a lot of what I see. I see the emotions as a barrier and people either ignoring them, diminishing them, not being willing to express them, not trusting or feeling safe to be vulnerable with them, and not having the language, not having the words of even how to begin a conversation like that. And that's what this conversation is about. And so as I move through the series, I'm going to be addressing some of the questions that I've gotten and some of the remarks and the comments and the reflections that have come up, and giving a little bit of response and expanding context around this conversation. And if this is a conversation, if repair, if building trust, if building safety, if building emotional intelligence, if creating safe space in leadership, if those are conversations that you know belong in your organization, let's talk. I'm happy to come and do a remap and repair workshop or a remap leadership workshop. And I'm happy to be a support coach for any of the leaders in your organization. I'll be back with more reflections. Just remember, we repeat what we do not repair. And we are seeing the impact of that every single day. There are systems that need to be dismantled, that need to be repaired, that need to be completely reorganized. We, the people, we are the ones that have the power to do that. We have the power in so many ways, clearly with our vote, but also with our interactions with one another on a day-to-day basis. And so I'll be back with more. And so if you haven't watched the talk yet, then you may want to do that now. And until the next time I see you, stay empowered.